Welcome to Super Shoppers, the programme that gives you the lowdown on big brands and retailers and the tips on how to beat them. Helping you to shop savvier, get the best deals and save money.
On tonight's show, it's enough to make you sick. We reveal the markups in WH Smith and Marks and Spencer's hospital shops.
Disgusting. Absolutely exploitative.
When it comes to value, do Beats headphones beat the competition? We sound test Britain's most wanted headphones against cheaper alternatives.
I think that they need to be driven a lot heavier, though, to get that sound.
Is that a technical term for saying turn up the volume?
Yeah.
Plus, we put Britain's cheapest and Britain's favourite tea bags to the taste test.
I can hardly believe that.
And hair loss shampoo. Does it really work? M&S.
We spent £5.5 billion on their foods last year.
But Super Shoppers has found something surprising about Marks and Spencer prices.
Things aren't always what they seem. Take a look at this. M&S giant milk chocolate buttons, £2. M&S giant milk chocolate buttons, £2.30. Both bought today in different M&S stores. Identical product, but one is more expensive. And there's more. Still lemonade, freshly squeezed, £1.65. Still lemonade, freshly squeezed, £1.75. Again, identical products, both bought today in two different M&S stores. Now I am really going to mess with your head because the two M&S's I went to are less than 100 yards apart, and that one there is on the high street. The other one is in the hospital behind me. They're both M&S, but one of them is charging more.
Now, you would think our beloved Marks and Spencer would offer patients and relatives the same deal as on the high street.
But you'd be simply wrong, because it's the products sold to this captive hospital market that cost more. So what about the hard-pressed NHS staff? If they fancy a meal deal for lunch, so a sandwich, a snack and a drink for a set price, they're going to need deeper pockets as well. On the high street, this will cost you between £4 to £4.50. In hospitals, it's £5. That's up to 25% more. Meal deal? Well, that's no deal at all. And Operation Price Check doesn't stop there.
We found price hikes on these products and more in hospitals across the UK.
But it was the bedside favourites that made our blood pressure rise.
Those all-essential grapes cost 50p per 100 grams on the high street, 60p in hospital stores. Bottle of water, high street, 80p, but in hospitals it's £1. That's 25% more.
And if you fancy taking a nighttime nibble to your loved one, these white chocolate cookies cost 10p extra in hospitals.
They've even done it to Percy Pig. High Street Percy, £1.50. Hospital Percy, pricey Percy, £1.75.
But it's not just M&S charging a premium in hospitals. Last year, retail giant WH Smith were also found to have hiked prices in their NHS shops. Back then, MP Paula Sheriff took up the cause.
Sadly, the vast majority of people will pay what they're asking, and they know that, so they are knowingly exploiting this captive audience.
But when she met the retail giant, there was no room for movement. Thankfully, WH Smith was more cooperative.
We had a really constructive meeting. We did reach a compromise on certain items, that they were going to offer the same promotions in the hospital shops as they were on the high street. And they agreed that there would only be a certain percentage that they would allow, either less or more, for the hospital shops.
WH Smith came out of the row well, but there was one important thing that they forgot to mention. Many of those M&S hospital shops that continue to charge higher prices are run by, well, guess what? WH Smith.
Yes, it turns out WH Smith Travel Limited run 12 M&S hospital shops as franchises. High prices and all. But what about WH Smith's own stores? We checked the chocolate aisle of hospital and high street WH Smiths and found less in sweet prices. It was £6 compared to £4.99 for Lindt chocolate truffles.
And we found little to celebrate with celebrations. £2.99 in the high street, a heart-stopping £5 in hospitals.
So what does MP Sheriff think of these prices?
Disgusting. Absolutely exploitative.
WH Smith told us the examples given refer to a small number of products impacted by different starting dates for our promotional offers. These products are now the same price, so there is no discrepancy. The prices actually charged over the past 12 months in hospitals were within 1% of our high street prices, and we continue to commit to this.
And M&S said, we work hard to keep prices competitive. However, in line with other retailers, prices can be a little higher in these locations due to increased running costs, such as longer opening hours.
Nice headphones you got there, Pete.
Thanks, Anna.
What do you think of these?
They're all right.
All right, these are Beats by Dre, Pete, and the thing is, they are wireless. That's what all the kids are going for. Wireless headphones now account for nearly 1 in 5 sales, and the top-earning luxury brand is Beats by Dre, which 2 years ago was snapped up by Apple.
And now, with the iPhone 7, Apple have jacked the audio jack. Wireless sales are set to crescendo.
As consumers, we spend an average of £27 on headphones. So how did Beats manage to persuade us to part with up to 13 times that amount?
What they've done very cleverly is combining a product that just performed a function with fashion.
We've enlisted the help of sound engineers Paul, George and...
Ringo?
Nah, Bruce. These dudes have worked with music royalty, including Paul Weller, Lawrence and the Machine, Travis and the Beautiful South. And today, they're working with me to test out 3 sets of headphones. They're sound-checking Beats' bestseller, the Solo 2 Wireless, against the mid-priced Jab Remove Wireless. And at the affordable end, the Skull Candy Uproar Wireless.
Dr. Dre is the name, I'm ahead of my game, still puffing my...
After some hip-hop, we'll hit them with something from the main man, Mozart. Before finishing off in fury with heavy rock. 3 tracks designed to test the range of these headphones and your musical skills. So step up to the mic, Skull Candy. For $29.99, this brand promises to keep you sweet with supreme sound from ear pillows so soft you might forget you're wearing them. But are the boys roaring for more from the uproars?
They're not too comfy.
They're not that comfortable.
Nah.
They sounded cheap.
Yeah.
They were sort of distorting.
Bass-free zone.
Yeah.
The top end was like shrill.
Wow, so was there anything you liked about these ones?
Giving you them back.
Okay.
But will they like the Beats any better? At £225, these Solo 2 Wireless claim to be designed for sound, tuned for emotion, and promise
fine-tuned acoustics.
How are they?
These feel a bit better on the head, that's for sure. Less cheap.
The manufacturers kind of turned up the low end for the kick drum and the bass guitar.
One of the things is I think that they need to be driven a lot heavier, though, to get that sound.
Is that a technical term for saying turn up the volume?
Yeah.
Oh, got it. Now I understand. Now I understand. It's loud and clear, but will the Jabra Move at 65 quid be equally crystal?
Their packaging promises lightweight headphones with full immersive sound and exceptional sound quality.
They are quite comfortable. They're
Okay.
not sort of pushing on my ears like the last ones.
Bruce, how are they?
These were okay. I mean, these are average headphones, I'd say.
Okay.
The string sound was easier on the ear with the set, not as good as the second set.
Paul, for yourself?
I slightly preferred these to the second set. I felt that there was a little bit more detail. There felt as though there was more treble overall. But definitely the first song and the hip-hop track definitely sounded a little bit better on these, I would say.
You can now take off your blindfolds. Time to reveal all. I want to know, do any of these headphones offer great sound and value for money? The first ones you listened to were from Skull Candy.
Ooh.
Any thoughts on that?
It's definitely a style thing. I think they go for look over sound, and that's wrong. For me, that's wrong.
The next pair that you listened to, they were Beats Solo 2 wireless headphones. So are you surprised about that?
Not really.
Fair enough. They felt more sort of expensive. They had a bit more weight to them as well.
Initially, that was the very first thing that came to mind, that they were more comfortable.
But what about the £225 price tag?
Oh, that's a lot of money. You could get twice the headphones for half that amount of money.
With Beats, you're buying the brand. It's definitely a style thing.
This is the last pair that you quite liked, are by Jabra. Heard of Jabra?
No, never.
No? All right, well, these are Jabra Move Wireless. They retail for about 65 quid.
Wow.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
You thought these were pretty good value, didn't you?
For £65, I think that's pretty good value for money.
I would definitely buy them. I think that with the Beats, you get good bass. With them, you get good bass and good treble.
So for 65 quid, the Jabra Move have beaten Beats when it comes to great sound and value for money.
Andy, what's the name of that little white thing that you hit the golf ball off?
Oh, tea?
Yes, please. Anybody else?
Every day, we Brits drink 165 million cups of tea.
But in trying to find the perfect brew, you've got a choice of everything from supermarket-owned to expensive artisans on offer. But what is the cheapest tea in Britain? And can you really tell the difference? Well, the cheapest one that we found was this one. Tesco's everyday value, just 20p for 40 bags. That's ½ a bag.
And 6 times cheaper than the leading brand PG Tips, which sells at £1.27 for 40 bags, and that's just over 3p per bag.
But do you get what you pay for? Or could tea lovers be saving themselves a small fortune just by switching to supermarket own brand tea? Well, to find out, I'm two-stepping it to a tea dance. The perfect place to taste test Britain's cheapest bag against Britain's best seller.
You tea leaf! Those bickies are strictly for the dancers.
First to the floor, PG Tips. What will they think of this cuppa? There we are.
Thank you.
Any thoughts on flavour or anything like that?
No, I'm enjoying it. That's nice. That's nice.
Very good, very good. Yeah? What do you reckon?
Oh, that's lovely. It's really nice, actually. I can actually feel it sticking to your tongue.
Ooh, no, that's not going to be a good taste. Okay, how about you?
No, it's not doing it for me.
Okay. So it seems PG Tips hasn't tangoed on everyone's taste buds. But before I test out Britain's cheapest tea bag, I want to know what makes big brands different from many supermarket owned. I'm meeting Bill Gorman of the UK Tea and Infusions Association to find out.
All the big brands work incredibly hard to make sure that the blend is consistent from one year to another. You'll get a good quality tea, but you may not get the same consistency with, for example, a supermarket brand.
But can you tell the difference when it comes to taste?
Often no.
Really?
Often in black blended tea, which is the bulk of what we drink, sometimes it's quite difficult to judge, particularly when you add milk to it.
So come on, Cheap Tea, you're in with a chance. Can you save us bags of money against PG Tips?
So what do you think of that?
I prefer that.
You prefer it? Now, why is that?
I don't know, it seems nicer tasting.
Yeah?
An early score for Tesco.
I like the first one.
You preferred the first one? Oh, so we've got a split vote.
But PG Tips is hot on its heels.
No, I don't like
that.
No.
What's wrong with it? What don't you like
I don't
about
know,
it?
I just don't like the taste of it.
Oh, a little stumble for the 20p tea.
Oh, I like it.
You like it?
Yes, I do like it. I think it's got an aftertaste.
Yeah? And that's in a bad way. It's a bad
Not
thing.
tannin.
You can taste it?
Mm-hmm.
That's one apiece.
I think it's just the same, really.
Tesco holds its own, so 1 bonus point.
I prefer my very expensive one, to be truthful.
Really?
But, that one's not far away.
You preferred it, did you say?
Yeah, because it's like the stronger. I would prefer that one out of the two of them.
The final scores are in. And after a graceful performance, Tesco's has just been pipped by PG Tips.
But do the judges think the big brand is value for money?
Now, this one's over 6 times as expensive as this one. Do you think it's 6 times as good?
No. I wouldn't know it would be similar. Oh, no, no way. No way. No, it's not that good. Not that much.
It's good, but it's not that good.
I can hardly believe that.
According to recent NHS figures, 50% of men will experience some degree of male pattern baldness before they're 50. But Alpecin, Britain's widest selling hair loss shampoo, promises to help with that problem. No wonder then, they claim over 1 million bottles are sold a year. But does it really work? Alpecin claims its active ingredient, caffeine, can help prevent hair loss and even stimulate hair growth.
Time for the expert opinion of clinical dermatologist Dr. Martin Wade.
One of the issues with a shampoo is the short contact time, so it goes on and it's washed off quite quickly. So that has been a limiting factor with the effectiveness of shampoos in the past.
So they're really sort of banking on caffeine being the sort of magic ingredient in this, aren't they?
And they've shown in the lab, in a test tube, that it can cause some stimulation of the hair follicle. But as I said, in the lab, we're not so sure whether that equates to real-life patients.
Hang on, if they can't prove Alpecin works on people, how can they claim their shampoo prevents hair loss and stimulates growth? Alpecin's website lists a number of studies, but when we took a closer look, we found they related to small groups of men and relied heavily on them filling out questionnaires.
Colin Sanders is a research scientist who's dedicated a career to developing and testing cosmetics. Does Alpecin's proof convince him?
The only way you could prove that caffeine worked against baldness would be to do a proper double-blind clinical trial. So you'd give some people shampoo with caffeine in it and some people shampoo without caffeine.
So has Alpecin done this clinical trial?
There isn't a published clinical trial for caffeine having an effect on hair loss. If they've got a trial themselves that they're keeping up their sleeves, I'd be very surprised, because if I had such a trial, I'd be waving it from the rooftops.
But Alpecin aren't singing. And 3 years ago, they promised to stop running an ad that claimed their shampoo promoted hair growth after being challenged for being misleading. So how robust is their evidence?
We asked Alpecin to respond. They told us, "We kindly ask you to refrain from further inquiries, as we are not available for this kind of request." While independent bookshop bookshops are battling for survival, the good news is demand for the printed book is going up, as digital sales are falling. In the first half of this year alone, Britain's bought 78 million books. That's an increase of 9%, the best sales performance in a decade.
Is there anything better than browsing an actual bookshop? You know, where you can hold a real book, smell those pages, and you get to support your local high street. But sometimes don't you wonder whether you might be able to get a better deal online? Well, Super Shoppers has a secret to share with you.
Because I've discovered how you can enjoy browsing in-store at Waterstones, but still get the online price. And to prove my point, Anna and I have just bought exactly the same books in exactly the same store.
Going to enjoy this classic War and Peace. It cost me £7.49, bargain.
That's really weird, because I've just paid £9.99 for this in there. What about your Van Gogh Seer?
That cost me £12.99.
I've just paid £16.99 for this.
How about this? I got, I love Mary Berry. Mary Berry's Baking Bible, 20 quid.
No way! I've just paid 25 quid for Mezza Bezza in store at the same time as you.
So here's the secret to getting the best deal. While browsing the shelves of your local Waterstones, get your smartphone out and check prices on their website as well.
Most of the time, the price is going to be cheaper online, so you buy it online, right? But you hit click to collect.
Right.
So then you go to the till, you collect the book, and then you get the online price in store. Boom.
In our own Super Shoppers survey of more than 36 books, we discovered 3/4 of them were around 25% cheaper through Waterstones online compared to in-store.
And while click and collect officially takes 2 hours, I managed to get my books straight away just by showing them the confirmation email.
In that case, Andy Osho, afternoon tea is on you. If you have a story you'd like us to investigate, you can get in touch at Seaport Super Shoppers. Next time, supermarket shoes versus Clarks. Do you really need to fork out for fitted footwear?
It's great that Clarks train their fitters, but it's totally possible to do it yourself.
Can drinking tea really make you lose weight?
If it really worked, we'd be using it in the NHS.
The controversial contracts online travel agents use to control the cost of your holiday.
They're illegal in France and they're illegal in Germany. But in the United Kingdom, they're not yet illegal.